Hello everyone. Clouds everywhere and you can't see the sun or the mountains. It's just kind of crazy. Have all their muscles accentuated. You kind of understand where the landmarks are. Hello everyone. Today I have another video for you. In this video I have two drawings. Now the premise of this video, or the title of this video, is how to draw for hours without getting bored. Now, this is a strategy that I've used a lot, and basically what it is you have two drawings going at the same time, and whenever you get bored of one drawing, you move on to the other drawing. Oftentimes, the benefits of this are when I'm typically on like one drawing piece, and I get to a point where I'm bored or where I don't really know what to do with the drawing, I'll end up doing something kind of risky, which is like fine if that's what you're trying to do, but if you're trying to curate a piece, those risky or those big moves that you that don't really go with the drawing as much can be a hit or miss, and oftentimes they're a miss and they make the drawing a lot worse. So the idea with this drawing, or with this technique, is that once you get to that point in a drawing, then you can take a break or switch drawings and then draw on the other drawing for a little bit, and then once you get to that point with that drawing, you can switch, and by the time you've switched, oftentimes you'll be in that place where you're like, oh, okay, I know what to do next, or this is new and exciting, it's not boring, so you don't have those temptations to do really crazy things. Yeah, so funny enough, I am standing up for this particular voiceover. I was doing this voiceover, or trying to do this voiceover earlier, and a lot of things happened, like the fan on my computer was way too loud, so I had to figure out a different situation with that, just cooled it down for a little bit, and that seemed to work. There was another thing where I wasn't recording with this microphone, I was recording with the computer microphone, and I basically recorded the entire thing, and I was like, gosh darn it. But this last time, I just ran out of things to say. But essentially, last time, in the middle of the video, I realized something, which is I don't need to be sitting down for this right now. I can be standing up. I can be moving around. I can be holding the microphone in my hand. I don't need to be sitting down. Sitting down maybe has a certain effect of I'm in one place and I'm stable or whatever, and the frame might look better. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this video turns out. But I was realizing that so many things that I do in life, and a lot of these things are just things that we do in society, like we sit down at the dinner table to eat, we sit in the car. Anyway, so many things require us to sit down, and in this kind of unnatural position. Our much more natural position is squatting or standing or running, constantly moving. Anyway, and it's not only those things, it's things that my hobbies require of me too. So like drawing, I mean, a lot of the times I probably could be standing up, but it's just like the nature of drawing is you're going to be doing it for a long time, and you want to be in the same place, and you're not moving a lot. You're moving a little bit with your hand. I'll experiment more with doing probably bigger drawings. I had some feedback from somebody that would be a good idea to help with my movement. But so many things, like drawing is one. Then there's video editing, then there's these voiceovers, and there's the raps, then there's watching YouTube, then there's writing raps on my computer, or whatever it may be. All these things are really more mental things, and they require you to sit down. Or at least that's the habitual way of doing them. Right now I'm trying to shake it up and switch things up. You may be wondering, why the heck am I wearing these glasses right now? And no, it is not just because of my style choice, although I'm kind of liking these glasses. The main reason that I'm wearing these glasses is because I have this light that's blaring right into my face. And I find it funny how we get into these situations where moments ago I was sitting down, not wearing these glasses, and now I'm standing up wearing these glasses and doing a completely different voiceover than I was earlier. And it's just like, all right, thought comes to me. All of a sudden, I'm going to stand up and say, fuck it, I don't need to be sitting down while I'm doing this. Light's blinding my eyes. But like, how do I get good lighting without this thing shielding my, like, putting too much shadow on my face, which I don't know how it's going to look right now, but. And then I was like, oh, I could just wear the sunglasses that is not in my eyes as much. And there's just all these little simple things, and just like taking actions and solutions for these problems that just will arise naturally. And I was being a wuss about the light thing. It's no big deal. I'm not looking directly into it anyway. But I find that oftentimes when I'm making these videos, that seems to happen a lot. A lot of little problems come up, and you gotta expect those. Like, things are not going to be perfect at all, ever. So I was planning to do this voiceover the first time, and it's like the 6th time that I've tried it now. And same with all these raps. Like, there was a rap that I was going to upload right before I left for the spring semester of the gap year program. I'd spent like hours trying to recite it with the beat and everything. I like recorded so much footage, and then I just like couldn't do it, because you have to get the timing perfect. You have to get it all done, and there's just a lot of work that goes into it that's like kind of behind the scenes that I don't even think about when I'm thinking about making things, that you have to account for. Now, the reason I've been thinking more about movement patterns and the way you are in the world and sitting down as such an unhealthy thing is because I went and saw this guy who calls himself a body worker recently, who has accumulated so much knowledge, and he's a professional in this work. And essentially he looks at people's bodies and just notices things, and then he performs certain massages or actions on the body that are corrective. And I was really curious because my parents had both gone to him before, and I was really curious because like I'm fascinated with the human body and play and biomechanics and fitness and all those things that are part of my Invitation to Play channel, which I'm hoping to express more and more and more there. But I was really curious, and then all of a sudden I had an excuse to go, which was my spine was going all wiggly wobbly, some scoliosis going on, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? Anyway, I went and saw him, and he's a wizard in his craft, because I was not expecting this at all. He like immediately was like, oh, you put more weight on this foot, oh, this is happening and this is happening, and oh, this shoulder's not moving at all when you walk, and like all these things. I was like, what? I didn't even notice any of those. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the session, I like got up and walked around. I was like, what in the world? Because all the things that he pointed out were basically fixed. Like, he popped my hip back into place. My posture was like way better. I was like, what in the world? Okay, let me just make a note on posture really quick here. I've always thought like posture is a habit, and in a way it is kind of a habit, but I always thought, yeah, I just need to do these series of stretches every day, twice a day, for a year or years or months or whatever, and always be sitting up and like paying attention and holding myself in that position to get this posture thing. And all of a sudden I'm in there for like an hour and a half and it's fixed. My belly doesn't sag out as much. I'm like upright and like a lot more and way better than it used to be, which is amazing. One of the things also that he said, which I'm also going to try to practice more when I'm doing all these sitting things, is he said something about the difference between holding still and being still, which I think there's a really good distinction there. And the holding still implies that there's a holding of some tension. So say I'm like this or something. I'm holding still. I'm not moving, but I'm like holding it, right? Whereas if I just let it go, then I'm just being. And if I'm relaxed, I can still be still, but I can be relaxed. And I noticed this so much when I was drawing too, like doing these drawings. I was like, oh, my hand's very tight when I do this. And that's kind of the nature of it because I'm trying to be really precise, but I wonder if there's more nuance to that and I could be more relaxed. But it wasn't just my hand. It was the way I was leaning on the desk, that my arm was pushing down on the desk a lot and my tricep was being activated. I was like, why is my whole arm tense like this? And then I'd go like this and go like this, and then I'd be sitting here and sitting like that and switching it up, trying to figure out what's going on. I think I just need to experiment more to see if I can get that same precision without being so tense. And also maybe look into getting more ergonomic desks. So like one that's kind of slanted so that my wrist's better, and so I'm not like doing this or doing that. And also maybe a standing desk. All these things can contribute to optimizing sitting down, which is an inherently not great action for you to do all the time, which we do all the time. So I'll be looking into probably getting a better chair, better desk, more mindfulness around the whole thing. And also changing up my practice a little bit. So the idea about this video is drawing for hours without getting bored. Now here's the thing. If you're drawing for hours, that implies staying in the same place for hours, right? Unless you're taking breaks and doing things like that. But the idea with this drawing was that I had the 2 drawings and I didn't have to take a break. I would be like, oh, I don't need to stop drawing. I'm not bored. I can just move on to the other drawing. But if you let yourself be bored and you be like, oh, I'm bored or I don't know what to do in this situation, take a break. Even come back to it the next day. This drawing right here, I like way better than these other 2 drawings. And it took me a couple days. Not because it was like way more time drawing, a little bit more time drawing for sure. It was just because I got bored of it or I wanted to step back from it. And then I come back the next day and I'm like excited about it and I want to draw on it more. Now, I think it's pretty good right now. I think I could keep going with it, but oftentimes I do have that thing where I end up adding too many details and it just ends up looking bad. So I'm actually going to stop. I'm going to tell myself to stop on this one because I think it's done. It's good. But yeah, and these long drawings where I spend so much time, I always get up from them like feeling cool and feeling good about my productivity and like what I've created. Like those are really exciting things. But sometimes I'll get up, my vision's like still kind of in a fixated mode where it's like short-sighted, I guess, because I've been staring at this thing that's this distance away from my face like the entire time. So my vision's not great. It's a little blurry. And then I just was like sitting down for that long and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right for my body. But this inherent act of drawing and sitting down doesn't have to be that. You can draw for a little bit. You can take a break, come back to it. You can take a day off, come back to it. You can do those things. And yet you can still edit it into a full video as well. So that's something I'm going to try to be doing more. Whereas these ones I just did, and I was trying to draw for a certain amount of time because I was like, oh, this is how you draw for a certain amount of time for a really long time. And some of the first videos on this channel, I think like maybe The Game or Disco Party Goblin King, whatever the fuck I named that one. Those ones took me like really long, like 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours. I don't actually know how long, but that doesn't appeal to me as much anymore. Just being able to sit down and do something for that long of a time and kind of like ignore the consequences of it. I'm like, no, thank you. So the funny thing is, the title of this video, yes, it does give you, I do give you a tip on how to draw for hours without getting bored. But I'm actually going to tell you maybe to not. Maybe to switch it up and do something else. And take breaks and use that delayed gratification. Because sometimes you do want to draw for a really long time. And more often than not, though, when you're in a piece, you can also, if you have enough awareness, realize when are actually good stopping points for the drawing. Now, with all that said, some other ways you can draw for hours without getting bored: listen to music, listen to podcasts, listen to interviews, have a Zoom call with your friend, or just draw with your friend for that amount of time. When you have a person doing the same thing as you, it's like really easy to do it for a long time, like just kind of like a study group type of thing, but like a drawing group. But pay attention. Pay attention to whether you're holding still or being still. Pay attention to how your body feels once it sits down. How are your eyes doing? The outro for the video just played and it was so fucking loud. I think I need to change that. I don't know. I saw a comment, I think it's from my brother, about how the outro was really loud and like RAP people who had headphones. And I just felt it just then. That was so freaking loud. Anyway, hope you guys liked the video. And by like it, I also mean give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more creative drawing content and all that jazz. I'm going to be doing a lot more cool projects. And yeah, like I said, comment down below if you have challenges for me, like maybe more pencil, different types of pens, more Copic stuff, more drawing challenges like animals or whatever it may be, and I will check them out. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and turn that bell on if you want to. Peace.